Let's imagine better health with CHI Health. We're focusing today on reflux, which is on the rise in a big way.
In the last 40 years, the incidence of all reflux has increased 400%. It's important to look at the cause and look at help beyond taking a pill, since that can mask a progressive disease.
Dr. Sumeet Mittal is the director of the CHI Health Esophageal Center at Creighton University Medical Center. Good to see you, doctor.
Welcome back.
Thanks for stopping by. Yeah,
Thank you.
We talked to you. It's been a little while, so it's good to catch up with you. But I think I was reading there's something like 7 million Americans that have these type of issues with acid reflux. But what's causing these health problems?
About 40 million Americans.
Yeah.
And
I must have read last year's numbers because it keeps growing.
It keeps growing.
Unreal.
About 20% of adults complain of reflux type symptoms on a weekly basis.
Wow.
So what's behind it?
Part of it is growing older, but mainly it is our diet and eating fast food or eating a large amount of food at a time increases the reflux, eating certain types of food, but mainly it is gaining weight, eating too much at one time, eating late at night, and that progressively worsens the esophageal function, and reflux, the probability of having reflux increases.
Yeah, you think about, in my 20s, we would go out and eat late at night and eat big meals, and that was kind of just a way of life back then at that age.
So do you see it, I mean, we're talking about this kind of increase, all these people, do you see it as an epidemic? Would you put it in that category now?
Oh, I think clearly it's a health crisis. You know, we talk about cancer, we talk about heart disease, but nobody talks really reflux disease, and it has increased by so much it affects quality of life. By estimates, the healthcare cost of reflux-related disease is more than $50 billion a year. And this does not even include the cost of the loss of work hours. You know, people can't sleep well at night, they go to work not very well rested.
They're miserable.
They're miserable, yes.
It's also known as GERD.
GERD,
What's exactly happening in the body that causes this?
GERD it's an abbreviation or acronym for gastroesophageal reflux disease. What is happening is that the stomach contents are backing up through the junction between the esophagus and stomach into the esophagus. There is normally at rest, there is a pressure inside the stomach is always more than the esophagus. So unless there was a valve or a sphincter, reflux will happen in everybody. But because people normally have a functioning valve or a sphincter, it prevents reflux. So if the valve doesn't work or doesn't work properly or is completely malfunctional, reflux will happen. And it's like sewage backing in your basement. You can put all the rose water with the PPIs or the different antacids, it doesn't stop the leakage. It's a dysfunctioning valve. So the way to stop the reflux or to stop the backflow is to reinforce the valve or decrease the pressure inside the stomach, and or rather than just put rose water in it.
I'm thinking about a lot of the advertisements for maybe a purple pill that people might take to feel better. But I mean, my concern with that is when you're treating the symptoms, you might be masking something that could be very serious.
Actually, there are two concerns. One is that you're masking the disease itself. You know, the first thing you notice when sewage leaks in your basement is a stink. And if you just put rose water, ignore it, you're ignoring the correct problem. On the other side, that's one thing. So you'll be ignoring and it can keep leaking, and you can have damage to your esophagus. Secondly, there is a physiological reason why in our body the stomach has to have a lot of acid to help digest food, to protect harmful ingestion of bacteria. They get killed in our stomach. And if we change that environment and make it more alkaline by medications, there are going to be consequences to the body. And now the PPIs are relatively safe. However, after 30, 40 years of experience, we are realizing that in the last probably 2 years, a new side effect of the drug is being found out in every month. In fact, yesterday I had a call from a patient, this drug causes long-term dementia.
What?
3 weeks ago, it was renal side effects. So I'm actually having calls from the patient saying, hey, I read this on the article, doc, what's going on? So we are realizing that, it is probably not physiologically right for us to have acid suppression carry on for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's going to have effects on our body.
Yeah.
And this is in addition to the other side effects we already know about.
So you don't want to stay on those medications long term. I mean, any medications really, but you're the first doctor, I think, in the region to perform a procedure with GERD, right? Explain what that is.
That was what we spoken last time I was here. It's a lynx. It's a bead of magnets. It's a very innovative design to basically prevent the sphincter from opening up after a meal and to prevent the reflux episodes. That is just a part of the equation to treat a subgroup of people who are early in the reflux. The gold standard way is to perform a hiatal hernia repair and fundoplication. And there has been some, people have some misconceptions. Physicians have misconceptions what the benefit and disadvantages of a fundoplication are, but I think they've been overstated at times, and especially when the surgeries are not performed by people who do a lot of it. If I did heart surgery, God bless the patient. That's not going to work.
But this is your specialty.
So a person who does a lot of certain procedures, it's by definition going to get better at it. Unless he's a total clumps, which I don't think I am. So I think surgeons who dedicate their life to do something specific will get better outcomes. However, what I'm excited to talk about is that there is a new device being developed, and we will be the first center in the country to be participating in the FDA trial. Wow. It is kind of a pacemaker for the GE junction, for the junction between the esophagus and the stomach. Till now, we've been using mechanical ways to control it, such as put a wrap around it, put stitches, or put a magnet around, a bracelet around it. Now there is a new technique that was developed by a company, and what it does, it puts some electrical leads into the GE junction, and then we have like a battery that's just like a pacemaker a lot of people have, and it goes below the skin. And the expectation is that it will make the sphincter stronger without having to do mechanical changes with it, which are responsible for some of the side effects of the surgeries. So this has been out there has been tried in Europe and other countries for a while, especially in Germany and I think in Brazil. But in the US, finally the FDA has approved, and we will be part of the one of the first few centers to do as part of the FDA trial. Wow. Hopefully we'll be starting soon.
Tremendous work happening at the CHI Health Esophageal Center. And you saw there's free information available. If you'd like one of those tip sheets, we encourage you to call 402-717-4837, and then online at chihealth.com/esophageal center. Doctor, it's great to have you here.
Good to be here.
We always appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Well,